Welcome to my YouTube channel, everybody. My name is Taylor Wayne, aka Tayway. Some of y'all might know me, friends, family, whatever. But here's my first video on my YouTube channel on a haircut tutorial. It is a mid ball fade with a slight drop in the back. Hope y'all enjoy the video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Any questions I got, leave them down below. I will be getting back to everybody if I can. But more videos coming, haircut tutorials, barber advice, barber tips, vlogs, whatever you think of. Videos are coming soon, but we're gonna jump straight into the video. Alright, before we get into the video, I just want to touch on something real quick. I'm gonna be talking about soft trimmers and hard trimmers in the video, and all that is a soft trimmer is a trimmer straight out the box, not zero gap, not sharpened, not nothing. It's just set how it is out the box, and that's what I use to set in my bald lines. And mostly I use those on kids too, but sometimes I use my hard trimmers on kids. I have a light hand, so I've worked with it before. But my hard trimmers are my trimmers I use to line up everybody. It's my hitters. Those things hit. But you don't want to use those to set in your ball line, because then you will have a hard time getting that ball line out if you are a beginner. So word of advice, if you are a beginner, you're just not getting into the barber game, have a trimmer just to set in ball lines that is not zero gap, that is not sharpened, because it will help you later on get out that ball line when you're going to fade. So we're gonna get into the video. Let's get it. So here we go, guys. We're doing a mid ball fade with a slight drop in the back. As you can tell, my homie needed a cut. Here's the after of how it turned out. But yeah, he really needed a cut. It's been like 2 months since he had a cut, so I had to get my man right. So we're gonna jump right into it. First thing I ever do with any cut there is, I always comb out or brush out the hair first. You wanna do this so you make sure you have all the hair that's tangled up or matted up, that is always laying down flat before you cut, because you don't wanna leave a gap in the hair because you didn't comb out something. I did spray the hair with water to help comb through the hair easier so it's not as stuck and matted. Right here I'm grabbing my soft trimmers to set in my bald line. I did say it's a slight drop, so that's why I'm kind of dropping it in the back. Before this, I did trim down the hair to a 2 all the way around. That's going to be the top of the fade. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't, so yeah. And word of advice, when you're setting your bald lines for a ball fade or a drop fade or something like this, you want to start on one side, and then you want to go to the other side, make sure the sides are even, and then come to the back and let those lines meet. So your fade, your guideline is even across the head. And right here, I'm balding out the hair with my soft trimmer first, and then I'm gonna grab my hard trimmer and bald it out even closer. On ethnic hair, black hair, I don't use a shaver. Not on the face, not on the back of the head, nowhere, because most of my black clients tend to get razor bumps, so I try to prevent razor bumps as much as possible. So that's why you'll see me just bald out with my soft trimmers and my hard trimmers. And like I said, I'm gonna grab my hard trimmers and bald out even closer with these, get it as close to skin as I can. So we're just gonna continue balling out with my gold FXs, getting close to bald as we can. Now I'm grabbing my Babyliss Pro FXs and setting in my first guideline. I always set in my first guideline around the whole head first, and then I'll go back and fade in one side and then fade in the other side. I always wanna make sure my first guideline is even across the head first, and then start fading one side. After I set in my first guideline, I go back with my soft trimmers and I try to, like Vic Blend kind of explained it as in breaking that line. And I go in, I don't push up a lot, I just kind of break that line a little bit to help me fade in from the bald to open with my FXs. My FXs are zero gap, so these actually can get out any bald line. Even with a hard trimmer, they can get that bald line out. And what I do is I go with no guard close, notch it up a little bit, and as you saw right there, go down another notch, and I keep doing that all the way until I get to the top of that guideline, which is no guard open. And you'll see me slowly notching it as I go. I always cut one, brush one, cut one, brush one. And when setting in your guidelines, you want to make sure you go over that area like a couple of times to make sure all the hair in that area is even and it's to that true length of that guard you're using. So that whether it be a no guard open or one guard closed, you want to make sure you go over that area as much as possible to make sure all the hair in that area is even, and it's going to give you a more cleaner, nicer fade. So as I said earlier, I did trim down the hair to a 2, and right now I'm just going back over everything I cut just to make sure everything is a true 2, so I'm not having no like spots I missed or anything. You just want to make sure you always want to check your work. So now I'm gonna grab my one guard close and I'm gonna go up, not even half an inch. I'm pretty much making my way up so I can fade it up until that 2. The one open isn't gonna fade into the 2, so I'm gonna have to grab my 1.5 guard to fade that area in. It's gonna leave a slight line just to fade that area in. And just like I said with the no guard open, I'm notching it. I like using the notching system on the Babyliss to help me fade, because I can just pretty much I work my way up into each guard or each notch pretty much, and I just work my way. I kind of speed it up right here because it's a long clip, but yeah, right here I think I'm maybe at the second or third notch. I don't think it's halfway yet, and I'm just working my way up, and you can see how it's slowly starting to fade. You can see a slight line between that no guard and that one close, but we're gonna get that out with the half guard. So now I got my 1.5 Babyliss guard, and I start with, when I'm fading down, I mostly start with open and then close. But I know my guards, I know the length of the hair, so I started open. I saw I wasn't really cutting nothing, so I closed it up like you saw. And I'm just flicking. You want to always flick out when you're fading. Right here I grab my half guard, wall guard. I use the wall half guard instead of the Babyliss half guard because the wall guard cuts a little bit closer than the Babyliss, and I feel like it gives me a cleaner fade, and I always tend to go back to my wall half guard if I use my Babyliss half guard. So kind of took that out of my fading system, and I just use the wall half guard from now on. And like I said earlier, you want to flick out. Right here I'm using a razor comb. This just helps to cut those hairs that don't want to cut, those stubborn hairs that just don't want to cut, you know. And this helps lay down the hair and actually cut them and get them to the true length that they're supposed to be around the hair, even out the hair pretty much. One side is like a 1.5 and the other is a half. The smaller side is a half, the other side, the larger side is a 1.5. My homie did want his beard gone and just keep the chin hair, so we're gonna trim that down. I normally use my soft trimmers first and then my hard trimmers like I did balling out the back of the head. Same process with trimming down like a beard or sideburns or anything. Grab my soft trimmers first and then my hard trimmers. Like I said, I don't like using a shaver on ethnic or black people anywhere on the head or face because it does tend to leave a lot of razor bumps. I see a lot of people with razor bumps that come to me saying, oh, don't use a shaver. So you want to prevent razor bumps as much as possible because those things do hurt and irritate the skin a lot. Now I'm trimming down the hair on the hairline down to a 1 close to help lay down the hair and get ready for lining up. After this, I didn't record it, but normally I grab my razor comb and hit the corners because sometimes the corners they don't want to cut or to lay down. So that's also what I use a razor comb for. And now we're gonna start lining up the head. Always start in the middle and work to either the highest side and then go to the other side and work and connect it, make it even all the way across. Sometimes they might not have a high side, so hairline might be perfect, it might be even all the way around. So you just work with what you got pretty much. Now we're going and finishing up the haircut with a razor lineup, give it a little bit sharp and crisper look. I did use fibers and hairspray. I used the Elegance hairspray. And you always want to give your clients a razor lineup. It always gives them that crisper look and everything. This is the Tungsten razor by Just Elite. Love this razor holder. Go get this, man. Here's the cut, YouTube. Mid ball fade with a slight drop in the back. Tell me what y'all think. Leave comments down below. Suggestions, advice, everything. I'm open ears. So here's a cut. Hope y'all like it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you back on the next one. Peace.